Hi everyone, it's Miranda with Multiplicity Crafts, and today we are covering 8 ways to make your craft room cleaning a little bit easier. Now you remember the old saying that says an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Well, this holds true for craft cleanup too. By preventing or reducing clutter and waste, you won't have to put in as much effort when it comes time to clean your craft area. So with that, let's begin. When using ink, markers, or watercolors, consider using a scrap piece of paper underneath in case things get messy. By this, you can simply trash the paper afterwards without having to pull out any desk spray cleaners or a rag, and so this will make cleanup faster and easier. You could even reuse the same scrap sheet several times before discarding, or another idea is just to get your spiral and just turn the page over whenever you're done with that particular page. That way everything's intact in a notebook and you can just close it when you're done. No cleanup at all necessary. If you've crafted for very long at all, I'm sure you may already use a coffee filter or a folded sheet of printer paper to funnel your loose glitter or embossing powder back into your container. But a lot of time you're still going to have strays and you'll have those little flecks of glitter or embossing powder. For those, you may have heard this trick before, but it bears mentioning that you can just use a lint roller and you can just roll that over your work surface. I kind of like to pat it rather than roll it because it's a little bit sticky at first, and that way it doesn't, peel the paint off of my desk or anything. Another option, they have little mini desk vacuums as well. Either idea will be fast, easy, and effective. Now this one might sound kind of obvious, but you'll want to keep a trash can nearby as you craft. Now not just a normal size trash can under your desk, that's pretty obvious, but how about a smaller one for your desktop? This can be a little bit handier, and that way you're not having to move and put things under your desk to trash them. You can just have it right there, just easy access. This one that I'm showing, I've got the lid on it, but when I'm using it in real time, I take the lid off, and that way I can just toss it for an easier cleanup. I've been using this Molly Ollie Memo Caddy to minimize the hassle of post-crafting cleanup. They call it craftermath, and that's exactly what it is. It's just the craftermath of all the mess you've made. You can see here how full my desk is before I put everything in the caddy. So by consolidating them in this caddy, everything's within reach, and I can just put it away immediately after use, which definitely reduces cleanup time afterwards. Now when packing your caddy, you just want to go with a minimalistic approach. Now if you're a card maker, maybe even store a few blank cards, a few envelopes, postage stamps, regular photopolymer stamps, an ink pad, just some of your basics that you'll need. Now this particular caddy has multiple pockets all the way around it, so it's got the sturdy handles, so if you need to move it anywhere, it's really nicely constructed. It'll stay open on its own, so that's really nice. If you'll notice these inner dividers, they're actually removable, so if you need some more versatility, some more room, those come out really easily. They're just Velcroed in. Now, if you think you can benefit from a caddy like this, I'll have a discount code in the description box for you. But yeah, that's just a main tip, I think, is having all your basics consolidated in one place. I think that's going to be a huge help in reducing your cleanup time. I've found that when I fussy cut images out of paper that I'm left with a ton of little extra bits of paper, and that can add up quickly. If I really want to be a tidy crafter, I will cut my images directly from the paper without first cutting them out of the paper. So this way I don't have tiny bits of paper everywhere to clean up. So you'll see what I mean here in this quick demonstration I'm showing you. So this is a fussy way of cutting, literally. but it keeps you from having all the little tiny bits of paper. And if you just cut it directly out of the paper and just leave it intact, I guess, it definitely cuts down on waste. Now, again, this may be too much of a fuss, no pun intended, for me at times, but it does reduce cleanup because those little tiny bits of paper inevitably fall into the floor, right? So this is another tip to make your cleanup a lot easier. Okay, so it's time for the deep cleaning and organizing of all things crafty, but instead of feeling like it's such a dreaded monumental task, simply clean up by making piles of like items. For example, I sweep everything off of my desk and into a large box, and then I just sit on my bed or at the kitchen table where I have plenty of room to spread everything out, and I just make piles of like items. So, for example, I'll say, okay, these items in this pile go in my craft storage cabinet. So that pile will be the storage cabinet pile. Then the items over here on this other side will be maybe my trash pile. And maybe the items on my right side is going to be the scrap paper pile. So all the scrap papers that I want to keep, I'll put in that pile. So you can make, however many piles you want, but the simpler the better. By having lump sums of things in piles that all go to the same location, you'll have lots of time, effort, and energy saved. For this tip, I understand that it can be a bit overwhelming to clean the entire craft room at once. Some days you just don't feel like it, so try this. As you go throughout the course of your week, every time you pass by your craft desk, just grab a couple of random items and put them away where they belong. Little by little, you can maintain a clean crafting area. Now, if all else fails and you don't have time to do a full deep cleaning or organizing, I would recommend keeping a dedicated catch-all drawer, box, or bin for the items that you can organize at a later time. I think it might be helpful to schedule craft cleanings on your calendar or a planner because your catch-all drawer is going to start burying everything that you need. So scheduling a craft cleanup day is a must, I feel, so that it doesn't get forgotten or pushed aside. And you could even use your Caddy that I showed earlier for your catch-all bin. So I hope these tips will help you out. And before you go, be sure to look in the description box for more of my craft organization videos, as well as a discount code to the Molly Ollie Memo Caddy. Also, please consider subscribing for a variety of fun, crafty content, giveaways, and more. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.